What happens when science and spirituality cross paths? Welcome to this space where science and spirituality meet. Here, we explore the mysteries of the mind, the power of neuroscience, and the profound connections between the self and the universe. We will talk about healing, trauma, consciousness, and transformation, challenging what is known and opening doors to new possibilities. Get ready for a journey where knowledge and intuition merge to awaken your deepest potential. This is more than a podcast, it's an awakening. Welcome.
Children are dying in Haiti. The video sent to me by my brother, the community leader, Brother Pierre, in Haiti, is very sad. Children are literally dying every day. Adults can't afford their medication and are dying as well. There is a lot of poverty. It's one of the poorest countries in the world. How is it possible that we call ourselves human beings while this tragedy is happening in Haiti? Governments don't care, nobody cares. People are dying, the children, the elderly, and no one is doing anything about it. That's why I decided to contribute with Brother Pierre to help alleviate hunger. I hope you will be moved, and if you make any donation, I will make sure it goes directly to him. This young man, only 35 years old, is helping his community to fight hunger in Haiti for both the children and adults who are dying. Please help out. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you are. Well, welcome to this channel. Today we have a wonderful, charismatic person who possesses ancestral knowledge, right? Well, not so ancestral because the Yuen Method has been around for quite some time, but he was certified directly by this master. So it seems like magic. I saw it and thought, wow, what is this? And to me, it seems very humanitarian. Just imagine being able to take away someone's pain so quickly. So I love neuroscience, and I also have a method I developed called Lifecology, and this really caught my interest. I'm already one of his students. I think sometimes we're students and sometimes we're teachers. Well, I'm very grateful to José Palomo because he gave me the interview immediately, very quickly. And these are the kinds of people I value because there's no money involved here. You can pay for that kind of kindness, and not everyone is like that because most people see everything in terms of money. But I think that in José Palomo's path, there's also something truly altruistic. Personally, it brings me a lot of joy when I can help another human being. So, well, as you've already seen, Christian Aguayo has been in all the interviews, all the podcasts. You already know him. Hello, my friend Jose. How are you, brother?
How are you, Dr. Guillen? Very well. I'm excited to be here with your audience, with your people, to, teach them the Yuen Method. And basically, one of the main goals of this is to show people that everyone has great potential. We can all help, we can all improve, we can all manage our energy, and as a result, improve our own lives and the lives of others. So I'm absolutely delighted to be here and thrilled to explain and share this technique with everyone who's with you.
Great. The power of the unconscious and subconscious mind. Carl Jung used to say, when you make the subconscious conscious, the unconscious will keep running your life and you will call it fate. So this quantum physics understanding that thoughts are energy, that feelings are energy, that illnesses have a high voltage of energy, because the vast majority of illnesses aren't even genetic. And if they were genetic, it would mean they come from another life. So we can also go to another life, because in reality, there is no time or space. So we can enter another dimension and do the work there. Explain the magic to us, because it seems surprising to me when I saw you with Christian Aguayo taking away pain, and also with this countryman of yours, Escobar.
Nayo
Escobar, I missed but it seemed magical to me, and the world needs to know this magic. I do certain similar things within memories, but what you do is very fast. So that intuition and the fact that it can be learned, that's wonderful that it can be learned. Why? Because there's a lot of need, and we need more effective, faster things. You know, I spent years of my life studying all of psychology, cognitive behavioral therapy, but it only works on the conscious mind. And so it takes a long time. And here is about working with the subconscious. I work with my eyes closed. Tell me more or less how this technique works and why it is so effective.
Okay, look, basically, let me explain. The Yuen Method is a technique for managing quantum energy. So why is it so effective? Everything is energy. Everything is energy. Therefore, our thoughts are energy, our emotions. We have an energy field. Our body is actually more energy than matter. And we are connected. We are connected, not in a way. Well, everything has a coincidence, right? But a lot of people see it in a holistic or even religious way, right? We are all connected. We are all one. And what you do to others, you do to yourself. Well, that also has scientific backing. There really is energy between us. Let me start from the very beginning. We all come from the same energy. When the universe was created, that's where we all came from. That's where we were all formed. We are all part of the same energy. And that connection or unity that we are has never been lost. In fact, the universe keeps expanding. People can look up at the sky and say, look, there's darkness between each star. Astrophysicists and quantum physicists say, no, there is energy. In other words, there is dark matter and dark energy in the universe that brings all these supposed materials together and unites them. There are many theories about this, like string theory and many others. So we really are connected. We really are united. We truly are one, scientifically speaking. So starting from that assumption, we know about the theory of quantum entanglement, and we know that we can stimulate, that we can change, that we can move, that we can correct. And as we say in the Yuen Method, we can strengthen someone so that they're not worse off. Why? Because I'm connected to them. Hey, but how do you do it? It seems like magic. Honestly, as an engineer, I like to see it in a very scientific way. What we really do is make adjustments. We make an adjustment because when you have a physical problem, maybe an illness, a limitation, or something else, there is something wrong in your program because your correct program is health. And not just health, your correct program is happiness. Your correct program is abundance. When you're outside of that, it means something is wrong. There's a problem. So with the Yuen method, we access that biocomputer, that information you have, and we correct it so you feel the change immediately. The calling card of the Yuen method is often pain, right? It's undeniable. When there's pain and you improve it, instantly like, hey, I had pain. I've had this pain for 5 years and I don't know what you did, but it was cut in half or went away completely or got better. Something that had never happened before. Well, there's nothing left to argue against that. In other words, there really is a change. Why? Because if the program is corrected, the change is immediate. So we can correct the physical body. We can correct the mental body. We can correct the emotional body. We can correct the energetic body. Within the energetic body is what you mentioned, other lives, which can be debated by science, can be debated by religions, it doesn't matter. But there is evidence. Jose, you know that people say, well, reincarnation exists. Well, but that's what they told you at church. But there is scientific evidence. When we do a regression, the person remembers exact details of everything that happened, how their existence ended. That is evidence. I believe more in evidence. That's why I was so surprised by your case. There's the quantum physics experiment of the double slit. When they set up a camera and observed the frequency of the subatomic particles, it immediately changed and became energy, which means that when you observe that particle, it has consciousness. Everything has consciousness. You interfere. To me, the double slit experiment shows that you interfere. We as observers can interfere and cause change. So this is where we play the role of observer in the energy of people so that we can bring about that change. So there it goes. I'm totally in agreement with you on the subject of past lives. But since my mission is to bring this technique to everyone, I open myself up completely. I try to handle it as scientifically as possible so that everyone can fit in. Because in the courses I teach, I've had people from every religion you can imagine. So even very, very strict and rigid religions regarding these kinds of things, right? I've had Christian people and Jehovah's Witnesses and all that, and they're allowed to study with me. And that makes me feel very proud. Why? Because I always give it a scientific approach and I don't get involved with anyone's beliefs. There are people who believe in past lives. I include myself among them. There are people who don't, but even so, I'm not going to exclude them. Come on over, I'm going to teach you something and we're going to create incredible changes. So the Yuen method really emphasizes something called neutrality. Neutrality means not judging, not criticizing, and not blaming. You are always in free thought, in freedom of thought. I free myself from critical thinking. I free myself from thoughts that judge, blame, or criticize others, and I'm at peace. I am at peace, I'm calm, it doesn't affect me anymore. You insulted me, well, that's your problem, not mine. So we also use the MEN method because sometimes you take things too personally and that ends up sabotaging your life. Hey, it's just that. It's just that I want to look good to others instead of being true to myself. And those patterns, as I said, we correct them ourselves with the MEN method so that people can be at ease and they become virtuous circles. Because sometimes we create our own financial sabotage through our own beliefs and attitudes.
It's energy, right? Money too is a form of energy.
But exactly. But many times it's a consequence. I mean, if I have a negative attitude, an attitude of being defensive, of thinking negatively about people, or of wanting to please others, or an attitude of,
Or if I don't feel worthy, right? Because I have a poor mindset. So no, it's that I don't have the ability to make money. I don't feel worthy. So, and there's a belief there that limits you.
those are self-sabotaging programs, right? I mean, we develop these programs in childhood, at school, at work, from society, the government, religion. So all those programs need to be eliminated urgently. And with the Yuen method, we can do it very quick. What I meant earlier was that sometimes our behavior causes these things. I mean, if I am at peace, if I am calm, if I'm neutral, as we practice in the Yuen method, magically the world starts to fall into place. Magically, it's the good people who come to me. People no longer come with swords to invade anything. There's no more conflict, no more disputes, no more fighting, no more scarcity, no more. Why? Because I'm vibrating at a different, at another kind of energy. And now, even scientifically speaking, there's attraction, right? Energy attracts, frequency attracts.
Nikola Tesla said that if you want to understand the universe, if you want to understand human beings, you have to understand them in terms of frequency, vibration, and energy. Now, you said something wonderful, law of one. We all come from one source. We are all connected. So the moment I judge you, I'm judging myself because you are a part of me. So if we are all one and what they call God divided itself into millions of particles, then who am I to judge another human being? I'm operating from the ego, but if I act from love and stop judging, do you believe in karma? Do you think there is karmic debt?
You're going to be surprised by what I'm about to tell you, Dr. Guillen. Not only do I believe in karma, I do believe in karma. Of course I do. And I can remove it.
Ah, great. Because it's a guilt that everything is in it.
Because sometimes karma is the origin of the problem. There are different types of karma. There is direct karma, indirect karma, and partially indirect karma. So suddenly, I don't know, my great-great-grandfather was the one enslaving people, and now I suddenly have a problem with my back. Hey, I don't know why my back hurts. It really bothers me. It gives me a hard time, and I'm always having back problems. And it turns out I have a transgenerational karma because my grandfather used to hit his employees, his workers, or even his slaves on the back. And that energy gets passed down. So am I basically paying for the energy of my grandfather? Well, obviously not. So what does the Yuen method do? We detect the karma, we remove it, and you get an immediate effect where your back stops bothering you. For example, right?
It's just that it makes perfect sense and it's completely logical because through our DNA, we carry all that energy from our father and mother. That's why when I do regression to the womb, the baby feels that energy of lack of love. So we bring that energy with us and we also bring it from other lives. So if we can connect with that energy, well, we could somehow reprogram it, remove that energy. There's a question I wanted to ask you, and then we'll get into the evidence, because when it comes to evidence, there's nothing to argue with. One thing is faith, which says, oh, it is the certainty of what is hoped for and the evidence of things not seen. But this can be seen, and in the face of evidence, there is no doubt. That's why when I saw it, I said, no, I have to become Jose's student immediately. When can I sign up? In fact, I signed up right away. I got in and I started watching your interviews. I got in touch with Rosie and quickly enrolled because I need to work. My dharma is to help humanity. And what greater gratitude or pleasure is there than being able to take away someone's pain? It's just wonderful. Intuition. It's an intuition, something spiritual.
No, it's completely scientific. It's our ability. In fact, if you look up a definition on Google or any source of information, yes, they do recognize intuition and define it as a skill.
It can be developed.
Exactly. So since it's a skill, that means all of us can develop it through training. And it's one of the things we use in the Yuen Method intuition. Intuition, notice that what the Yuen Method does is through intuition, detect a person's weakness, correct it, and bring about a change.
And what you teach is precisely how to develop that intuition in order to scan and communicate with that energy so that the energy tells you where the problem is. In some way, illness, the cells have consciousness because they communicate with each other. So if you enter that quantum field, that's where the intuition develops, and that's achieved through practice, or, well, that's where the techniques you teach come in, right? Within it.
Yes, of course, it's an entire methodology, and we have several levels. But one thing, some very good news, is that from the very beginning, from the first day of training, people can already start strengthening. In other words, from the very first day, people are already getting into it, already making changes, already being amazed. And of course, there are many levels. I've been practicing this technique for 12 years now, and even so, I'm still learning. Even so, I'm still growing, still doing research, still developing myself, still improving my intuition and my energetic power, because it's something incredible that also develops. I think that if I looked back at some point in my life and saw that I could strengthen 1,000 people at the same time, I would say no. I think that's a bit too difficult. Today, I can do it very easily. Today, I can stand in front of 1,000 people and bring about change in all of them without any problem.
What is your concept of God, of what people call God? Well, I see it as an energy. I'm not religious.
Yes, well, I'm not religious. I'm spiritual.
Me too.
I think there is an energy. Let's say that
The superconsciousness.
Yes. There is a divine energy. It's an energy.
That is basically love, right? I mean, the level of David Hawkins measured this with that mathematical method for measuring emotions. So among the highest levels of energy are love, peace, and gratitude. So it's about learning to manage that frequency so you don't accumulate more illness in your body. Well, what do you think if we move on to the practical part? Because people are desperate, and I got in touch with certain people, and let's see. I'm going to step out and you'll talk to them. And well, let's get to work. Let's hear. We're gonna go one by one. Let's bring in Claudio Romero. I think he's from Chile. There you go. I'll put him through to you. Okay. Hello, greetings, Jose.
How are you, Claudio? It's a pleasure. I'm listening, Claudio.
Well, my current problem right now is that I have a really significant pain in my lower leg.
Give me a second, please. I don't know why you're interrupting me.
Yes, no problem.
Yes, hello. Leave it on the pan, please. Sorry, Claudio. You have a pain in your leg.
Yes, it could be diabetic, neuropathy.
Let's see. No. Tell me which leg hurts and in what part of the leg.
The left one, the instep, and now it's starting to affect a bit.
The instep, and on a scale from 0 to 10, how would you rate the pain right now if we can assess it?
At this moment, I think it's at a 3.
Yes, okay.
Here is going to be that it's very high.
Yes, of course. There it is. We're going to remove. There's the karmic energy, precisely. This one comes. It's shared. It's yours. From your ancestors, from your close family. So I'm going to remove it without saying what kind of karma it is. I eliminate it. Check your pain, please. See how it feels.
And now I wonder, can I carefully and slowly move my foot at this very moment, just a little bit, a little more?
It doesn't hurt anymore, right? Now I can program a regeneration of the area of the entire musculoskeletal structure, of all the ducts, conduits, and channels, even the tissues and the empty spaces. There it is. Please take a moment to carefully check it. Did it show a significant improvement this time?
Yes.
Now, there is a blockage in an exit port. I'm going to open it so the energy can flow. And I'm also going to improve your connection with the earth, because sometimes we're not in the present. Sometimes we're not in reality. Sometimes we need to accept where we are, who we are, what we want, where we're going, who we're with, and so on. So I'm going to strengthen you with that so it doesn't weaken you. And please check your feet again.
Yes, the inflammation has gone down.
And do you feel better? What number is the pain right now?
It went down. It went down a lot. I would say there's a lightness, but still.
Now it's just the memory. We have these remnants, debris, and hesitations. I eliminate all of that. There it is. Are you better?
One, just one.
Yes, it is the latest. Now we just have to let it rest. Ready, Claudio? Thank you.
Thank you very much, Jose.
At your service. Good night. Thank you.
It seems like magic. Incredible. That's what I want to learn. Hey, can we get to the master's level? Because I like to go as far as you are. I mean, you can reach an advanced level, and then I say, what's next?
Yes, always. In fact, I'm developing a new course. Look, Dr. Leuven left us a bit unprotected. Dr. Leuven left us with the basic courses of the Leuven method. So one of the things I like is research. I really enjoy it. I have a lot of experience, and that experience has given me certain knowledge. And besides, I really like to go further. So I have developed many new courses. For example, Dr. Leuven left us very unprotected when it comes to mental topics. I mean, by mental, I mean mental problems, ADHD, autism, Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, and all kinds of things. And through research, through experience, through cases, over time, I was able to develop a course that I call the Brain course. It has 3 modules and has given us incredible results with problems of that kind. Today, I am developing another course that I am calling Subtle Energy. I haven't finished it yet. And well, fortunately, the tsunami of the last 2 interviews I had came along. I mean, I always have a full schedule, always. And with what just happened, right now, my schedule is full until October, I think. I think it's probably going to be booked up until 2026.
Well, but the beautiful thing about this is that you can train people, and it's an excellent investment, because if someone says, with the name and credibility you have, look, I was trained by Master José Palomo, that carries accreditation, that carries credibility. So we have the 3 basic levels and then 3 advanced levels.
I have the 3 basic ones, which we call the seminar level 1, 2, and 3. I also teach levels 4, 5, and 6, which are combined with they are combined with levels 7, 8, and 9. So basically, with me in 6 modules, you will cover the 9 basic modules of the BN method, which was Dr. BN's legacy. In addition, I have other specialized courses developed by me, such as an advanced triage workshop, workshops on energetic entities, an intuition development workshop. I have 3 on the brain, and I have another technique that I use, but I merged it with the BN method. It's called pranic energy. So I create a very nice fusion, a beautiful blend where we work with pranic energy using the well method. There I also have 3 levels, and they are combined. So for a pranic energy student, it would normally take 12 levels, but I cover them in 3, and I'm developing more courses as well. I don't have many master classes.
I will send you a couple of comprehensive trauma therapy sessions that I've personally conducted, so you can simply observe and learn from them.
Of course.
We can certainly exchange our ideas and thoughts on this matter. All right, my dear brother, let's continue on with the discussion about Darby Valles now.
Hello, good evening.
How are you, Darby? How are you doing? Good. How are you, Engineer Jose? I'm here on behalf of my mom, the patient I want to treat. She has trigeminal neuralgia. She has a problem with very severe pain in her jaw that has lasted for 3 years. It has become a chronic illness. And well, it has affected her a lot. It has also affected her mentally, because being in pain for so long has made things difficult for her, you know. But can she give us feedback on how she's feeling? Yes, of course. She's right here. How are you, ma'am? It's a pleasure.
How are you doing today? Fine, doctor?
Thank God I'm very well. So tell me, are you feeling discomfort right now in your jaw, or where exactly do you feel the discomfort?
It's from here and it spreads over to here, but the pain starts from here.
Mm-hmm. Yes, there's a misalignment there. And that's because, look, you've had this for a very, very, very long time. I mean, it's not something from just a few years ago. It's been many years, right? And basically, that's what comes to mind. It's like they let you move forward and then made you go back. It's like they kind of deceived you too, right? Like you're free, but not really that much, right? So that started to cause a misalignment in your feet, which in this case represent progress. And that misaligned your whole structure, which in this case would also be the temporomandibular joint. So I'm going to remove that origin, and we need to reduce the inflammation in the area because it's very inflamed, and we need to correct in a cross pattern, everything that would be the realignment of the left side with the right. She also lacks energy in her mouth. They didn't let her speak much either. So I put energy into her mouth, and I'm going to realign the energy centers of chakra. All right, check and see how much it hurts now.
It hasn't gone down, doctor.
Yes, her case is a little more complicated. I'm going to open the exit portal. I'm basically going to drain all the energy that's accumulated there. Give me a second. And we need to repair this. This issue is going to take time. The only thing I want is to bring about a slight change. All right, check again, please.
It went down a little bit, experiencing a slight decrease in its overall value.
Now I'm going to speed up that energy leak, that energy, let's call it dirty energy in quotes, and I'm going to replace it with new energy, which I'm already doing, but it's moving. It needs to move more. It's like washing a dish, right? I mean, you pouring water to wash the dish, and just pouring water once doesn't clean it. You have to keep pouring more. And each time it gets cleaner until we can achieve the maximum progress. There, I kept making progress. Check it to see if it's still the same.
It's improved a little, but not quite what we were hoping for.
A little more. It's not going to go away completely right now. The problem is pretty severe, but I've already unlocked it. So the goal is for it to keep improving, because that was blocked. You weren't going to get any better. Now you are already improving, right? And if you wait a few more minutes, you'll feel another small improvement. In other words, we're always getting better. That's the goal. All right? That would be it.
Okay, doctor.
Thank you, David. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, doctor. Thank you.
Thank you. Everything takes its process. There are situations, let me explain. I mean, it's not the same for me to treat a 17-year-old kid with a headache as it is to treat, say, a 100-year-old person with terminal cancer and metastasis. Everything has its process, everything has its steps, but in every case we can help. And that's the beautiful part. Of course, we're going to see an improvement.
Of course, and I imagine that the deeper the illness, the more sessions are needed and the more energy is moved, right?
That's correct. In fact, she already reported an improvement. She said, son, I feel a little better. That's a huge step in her case. And that means her cleansing, anti-inflammatory, and regeneration processes have already been activated, because she experienced a reversal of the pain. It was no longer constant. Yes, because not only was her pain constant, but there were also episodes when it would get even worse.
It's just that we carry negative energy, and negative energy patterns for years and years, and even across lifetimes. So that's why we're in the state we're in, right? So we need to cleanse that energy.
But we also have to understand that sometimes there's actual damage, I mean, if you come in with a recent problem, for example, let's use an example, and I can fix it before it gets worse, the change will happen much faster. But if you already come in with damage where there's degeneration, or there's more severe damage, or even malformation, obviously it will take time to repair that, but it can be repaired.
Of course. Well, let's continue with Marta Rueda. Welcome, Marta.
How are you doing today, my dear Marta? How are you truly doing, my friend?
Turn on your microphone, Marta. There you go.
Good evening, doctor. God bless you all. Well, my health problem, 4 years ago, I started having a problem with my lung, but I have degenerative arthritis, osteoarthritis, and fibromyalgia. I've had these pains for about the last 15 years or so. I have these severe pains. I have to take morphine.
Where Marta?